Today is a really interesting story. It's called Finding a Diamond in the Road. And it is about the national teacher Guido. Guido was an extremely accomplished person, extremely accomplished. He was the teacher of the Emperor of Japan. Well, he didn't like just staying in the court all the time, so he also would just don his basic run-of-the-mill monk's robes and go out wandering. And of course, he would be wandering, teaching, interacting with people. So one day he was coming to a small village and it was raining out, and he got so thoroughly soaked. He saw a little farmhouse. He went up to the farmhouse and asked if he could stay the night. The wife who was there said yes, of course he could. But everybody in the family looked very sad. And he said, what's going on? Why are you all so sad? She said, it's really terrible. My husband is a drunkard, a gambler. He he comes home and he's very abusive. He comes home and he's broke and blames us. And Guido said, I think I could be of some benefit here. The wife said, of course. Happy to help you in any way I can. So Guido pondered for a minute, and he said, okay, please go out and get a large bottle of sake, really big bottle of sake, and bring it back. Once you bring it back, you go to bed, you go wherever you go, and I will sit here with the sake. He did that. Her husband came in late at night and said, where's my wife? What's going on here? And Guido said, I'm just a visitor here. I'm spending the night, but I actually have a gift for you. I have a large bottle of sake. So sit down and drink with me. So the husband sat down and happily started drinking sake, finally fell asleep. The master just continued doing zazen next to him for the rest of the night. In the morning, the husband sort of groggily woke up and saw this same strange monk sitting right next to him and said, who are you? What are you doing here? And Guido introduced himself. The man recognized him as the emperor's teacher. And he was really embarrassed, really ashamed that he had presented himself so terribly as a drunkard. And so he apologized for that, and he said, well, let me help you out a little bit. Let me do something for you now that you've been here and graced my home with your presence. As you leave, let me carry your luggage, your bag for you for a while. Guido said, sure, okay, you can carry it for a little while. So they took off down the road back toward the capital, and the husband carried his bag for 5 miles. Guido said, thank you, that's plenty, appreciate your help. He said, no, let me carry a little bit longer. Another 5 miles. Please, a little bit longer. I'll be glad to help you. Let me follow you a little longer. Another 5 miles. The husband said, I'm not going to leave you. Please, I will be your attendant. I'll follow you to your temple and become a monk. And the end of the story is this man actually did that. He actually became Guido's Dharma heir and was the founder of many temples and a teacher of many, many students, and made a big difference in Zen Buddhism in Japan. So let's think about that story just a little bit. Here is somebody who obviously is suffering a lot. Abusive, drunken, gambler, broke, violating his agreements. Suffering a lot. And probably he feels like his life is worthless. Probably he feels like he is nothing but harm to whoever he comes around. Probably, I'm guessing, that there's a sense of shame about how he is treating his family. So I would, if I were in his position, I would think, oh, there is no benefit in me being here. And suddenly this person comes along who must have been a person of great presence, great strength. He was the emperor's teacher. So he was not just a casual wandering monk, a person of great strength and great presence. So this person who is castigating himself and feels so badly about himself and feels like he's such a miserable failure suddenly has the good fortune of encountering someone of great clarity and presence. And he follows him. Something got touched. Perhaps it was the teachings about impermanence. Perhaps it was the teachings that just said you only have one brief life. Perhaps it was the teachings about karma. But something about his presence and his teachings touched this person to their heart, to his heart, and he began walking the path. Now, of course, geographical therapy does not work because you always bring yourself along. So no matter what this person was experiencing in his family, he had to meet himself over and over and over again. So he can't escape from himself. And yet, somehow he met somebody who was inspiring enough to encourage him to really meet himself, to look into himself, to vow to do good, to walk the Bodhisattva path. We never know what a chance encounter may mean for us. We never know who might be knocking at our door. And our job is to really be attentive, to really be open to what opportunity is right here, right now. And then to take that first step, and the next one, and the next one.